Hi guys, good evening. I am having to re-upload this because it only recorded this screen for my entire video. I do apologize. This is a remix. All right, so several new documents dropped today. I'm going to go over them really quick with you. A couple of them are the important ones. So here we go. So the first one is just a standard request to obtain approval for video audio. This one was by KXLY and it was granted. So they will be able to record and then share after. No photographs and no live streaming. That one's pretty simple. Okay, this one is interesting. You guys, the state has filed this. It is a notice of intent not to cross-examine defense witnesses. They also include a district court decision on IGG, and they put in records to explain witness contact with Miss Vargas. So let's take a look. It says, at the hearing on the state's motion for a protective order and defendant's third motion to compel held on August 18th, 2023, the court allowed the state to reserve cross-examination of two witnesses, Gabriela Vargas, who the defense disclosed without a CV a day before the hearing, and Leah Larkin, for whom the defense disclosed a PowerPoint presentation for the first time during her examination, her direct examination. The state has determined that it need not cross-examine either of these witnesses. Why? Why would the state not want Gabriela Vargas back up on the stand if what he said in the last hearing is true? If you recall, Anne stood up and said she's very upset because word got back to her that Gabriela Vargas got a visit from the FBI at her home shortly after she testified at that last hearing, and that they interrogated her. The state, Mr. Thompson, got up and said, no, it wasn't an interrogation, it was just an interview. Okay, well, most of us are saying, okay, fine, if it was just an interview, why did you go to her house? Why did you send the FBI to her home? And he did say he sent them out there. Why? Why couldn't they have invited her to come into the office for an actual interview in a professional environment where everything is recorded? And then come to court and say that they did that because she said she was recanting some of what she said at the hearing, and that she was communicating via electronic means regarding her testimony and repudiating what she had said, and some allegation about she had signed some documents but wasn't sure what they were. She said that to Anne, and then the state says, no, it was her recanting. Why would they not want to cross-examine her now, if all that's true? If she recanted anything of what she said on the stand, of course they should bring her back and clear all that up. But the fact that they're not makes me personally, this is my opinion, it makes me believe Anne's version of this. That they did show up at her house, that they did interrogate her. They probably gave her a lot of flack over testifying in the first place. I want to know more about that. And apparently, the state has determined that it need not cross-examine either of those witnesses. I'm not okay with that. Maybe Anne will bring them back. Or at least Gabriela Vargas. We'll see what happens with that, huh? All right. And then also, the state mentioned during its argument at the hearing that Judge Whitney in Canyon County ruled on a similar issue 1 week prior to the hearing, and that the state would provide written ruling once available. The transcript is available and is attached as Exhibit A. All right, and then he brings up Vargas again. Finally, at the hearing on August 23rd, 2023, defense counsel suggested in open court that the state had improperly contacted Ms. Vargas. The state has attached under seal as Exhibit B the reports and other documents that explain the contact. Okay, Why under seal? I could totally understand if these were redacted. Totally understand that. If the unredacted were under seal and then redacted, because this was like he's complaining that, hey, she made this allegation in open court. So, what records was he able to go back and get from the FBI? Did he, Mr. Thompson, while you were there getting your little reports regarding the FBI going to Miss Vargas's home, did you happen to say, oh, by the way, do you guys got any information on the 2 unidentified DNA samples found at the house? Do you think you could hand those to me too? Did you do that, Mr. Thompson? Of course not, because those don't exist, right? Those reports don't exist. They didn't qualify. Whatever. This whole thing right here stinks, if you ask me. Okay, so he put them all under seal, the reports and stuff, but he did quote this case. This also dealt with IGG, and the case on this one is Canyon County. And, oh, hang on, I'm going to give you the defense name so you can look him up. David Allen Dalrymple. So this is a long document. I will, there's 24 pages of this. I will go ahead and link this one down in the description. So if you want to read all 24 pages of what they said here, go ahead. I don't need to do that. Trying to get this done for y'all and just get you updated. Okay, so, and then this is the motion to seal what he said about, or what the FBI allegedly says now about their visit to her home. And then that's the order to seal it. Now, this one is interesting. This is the other document filed today. This is by the media. This is a motion to continue hearing date. Look at all those media outlets listed there. A whole bunch of them. And it goes down to page 2 as well. More. Okay. So, proposed interveners move the court for an order continuing the September 1st, 2023 hearing date to remove cameras on their motion to remove cameras. They are, as you would expect, moving to intervene only for the limited purpose of opposing Mr. Kohberger's motion. They filed it on the 21st with a hearing date only 8 days later. Says that their main counsel will be out away on long scheduled travel. So they're asking for 1 week, at least 1 week, to a date convenient to the court and all parties. Okay, so that's their motion. And then let me see what this one says. Did I do? Yeah, that's just, I think this is the other page of it. Yes, okay. So let me zoom in. This is also the same news outlets, and they go on to explain why they feel that Anne's motion is wrong. And I don't know if Anne really believed what she saw as what the media was putting out. But from what I saw, I don't think it was. The images that I saw on her motion were cropped. Nobody zoomed in on her papers. Nobody zoomed in on her laptop. Nobody zoomed in on Mr. Kohberger's fly. Other people did when they got the still images. They, did the screenshot and zoomed in, and, this TikTokers and X or Twitter people, they made jokes. This is called free speech. Okay, so let me go through this really quick. They just want to intervene for the limited reason of opposing her motion. It says that given the high profile nature of this case, the public's interest in watching what is happening in the courtroom, and Kohberger's fundamental right to a fair trial by an impartial jury. Let's see here. Mr. Kohberger asked this court to remove cameras in the courtroom on the grounds that the media have failed to heed the court's admonishment, quote, not to focus strictly on Mr. Kohberger and to show a wide shot of the courtroom if they wished to continue court proceedings live. Okay. She said that, or she or he, whoever's typing this up, I'm sorry, said that the citations, or the things that Anne put in her motion for various media and social media publications, do not support his position. However, goes on to explain that news articles and even the X posts that somebody did, those were zoomed in off of full view. Okay. It explains that they never focused exclusively on him. There were lots of things being shown from the courtroom. Let's see. In addition, although Mr. Koberger argues that he is, quote, entitled to defend himself against capital charges without cameras focused on his fly, unquote, this assertion misstates the role that courtroom camera coverage played in the X, formerly Twitter, social media post that appears to page 3 of this motion. No photographs or camera coverage ever focused on Mr. Koberger's fly. Rather, one random X user modified his photo showing Mr. Koberger and the deputy entering the room by cropping it to a very small size, focus on his belt, and adding a reference, it was a joke, to Mr. Koberger's fly. Even the cropped image itself does not focus on Mr. Koberger's fly. Are we done talking about his fly yet, y'all? All right. They give several other examples of how they have complied with the court's directive. And they also state that the big outlets that are wanting to intervene that you see listed at the top have significant experience broadcasting live courtroom proceedings, including, and these are really good, this is really good to listen to here, high-profile trials that resulted in both acquittals, such as Kyle Rittenhouse and Skylar Richardson, and convictions, which was Alex Murdaugh. Their camera equipment operators are experienced and not the large, clunky, numerous camera equipment operators that basically is what they're saying is what Anne was referring to in her motion. She kept referring to this, Estes versus State of Texas. There were at least 12 camera operators in the courtroom, lots of equipment and cords, and just, it was a mess, right? And it was loud equipment. So that explains that, and I thought that was very well done. That's it on that one. And lastly, the order for Zoom only for the victims' families and the defendant's family to observe the court proceedings. And so they gave him the login and the Zoom information and instructions for nobody who's watching, who's logged in to live stream or record. All right, so that is it for all these motions. Again, the most interesting ones here are, let's see, this one. Mr. Thompson's intent to not cross-examine Gabriela Vargas and Leah Larkin, when I think that whole situation needs to be explained. If she did recant, great, we need the correct information, right? And if she didn't, if she was interrogated, then the court needs to know about that too. And then the motion to intervene by the media. They want the court date for this Friday to be moved for at least a week. So I'll just keep an eye on that and see if anything new pops up. If there's any of these granted. This is Wednesday as of the time of this recording, 7 p.m. my time. So this will be uploaded to replace the other one that messed up. I don't know what happened to that. But at least in this one, my dogs haven't barked and you don't hear my little girl's trumpet. So there's that, right? Sometimes my house does get kind of loud. So you guys, let me know what you think about what the state said and what you think about cameras in the courtroom and the media intervening to try to keep cameras in this courtroom. I think we need them in there. I think it would be great if the cameras were only focused on the witness stand and the judge, and then just showed briefly, maybe when Brian Koberger comes into the the courtroom and sits down. That should be enough. I don't really need to see him more than that, right? Do you? I don't really care about that. I want to see the witnesses. I want to watch them and listen to them. And then we need to see the judge. That's it. They could make that happen. They could totally make that happen. Fixed camera, doesn't move, and somebody's there watching it, just to be sure that it's all operating correctly. But nobody needs to move that camera around or zoom in on anything. Just focus where it needs to be and leave it alone. That's my opinion. But don't remove the courtroom cameras. I don't like that at all. Don't make me go to Moscow, Idaho. Because I want to see this hearing. Okay, guys, I will see you later. I'll see you down in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great night or a great day if you're catching this the next morning. Thank you.